CEO's life unravels, secret sons, a jealous Heir, and a DNA test that changed everything. John Davis, a successful businessman and CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Throughout his life, he dedicated himself to building an empire, controlling every aspect of his world with incredible precision. John didn't believe in surprises and didn't allow them into his life. But one day in a luxurious hotel, his perfectly organized world crumbled. John Davis is a man in his early 40s, with a sharp mind and an even sharper suit. He's known for his meticulous planning and unyielding ambition. His life is a carefully constructed balance of board meetings, business trips, and high-stakes negotiations. He's always been more comfortable in the boardroom than in his own home, and his personal life has taken a backseat to his professional achievements. John's world is one of luxury and precision, where every minute is accounted for and every decision is calculated. On that fateful day, John entered the lobby of the Grand Lux Hotel in New York, completely absorbed in thoughts about his upcoming business meetings. Suddenly, he heard a voice behind him. Mr. Davis. Turning around, he saw two 10-year-old boys standing a few feet away. Their faces were identical, dark hair, piercing blue eyes, and an expression that mixed nervousness with determination. The boys, Jake and Oliver, are twins who have grown up knowing only each other and their mother, Lily Brooks. Jake is the more outspoken of the two, always ready with a quick remark or a curious question. He's adventurous and loves exploring new places, often dragging his brother along on his escapades. Oliver, on the other hand, is quieter and more introspective. He loves to draw and can often be found with a sketchbook in hand, capturing the world around him with careful strokes. Despite their differences, the brothers share an unbreakable bond, strengthened by the challenges they face together. Yes, John replied, not understanding who these children were or what they wanted. We need to talk to you, said Jake, holding a worn-out backpack that contained all their worldly possessions. I'm sorry, but do I know you? John asked, starting to lose patience. Oliver took a deep breath and looked John straight in the eye. We are your sons. These words shook John to his core. He couldn't believe his ears. He had no children, had never been married, and couldn't imagine having sons he knew nothing about. But something in the boy's expressions made him pause. Our mom passed away a few weeks ago, Jake continued. Before she died, she told us who you were. Who was your mother? John asked, feeling his world begin to unravel. Lily Brooks, Oliver answered softly. The name hit John like a punch to the gut. Lily Brooks, a woman with whom he had a brief but intense relationship many years ago. She was kind, full of life, and had a way of making everyone around her feel special. Their relationship was a whirlwind, passionate and fleeting, ending as suddenly as it had begun. Lily had left without a word, and John had never heard from her again. He had often thought about her over the years, wondering what had become of her. But he never imagined that she had been raising their sons alone. John took the boys to his penthouse to learn more. The penthouse was a sleek, modern space with floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the city's skyline. It was a home built for a man who had spent years prioritizing work over everything else, and it lacked the warmth and chaos of a family home. The boys hesitated at the entrance, their gazes sweeping over the pristine furniture and perfectly arranged decor. Jake and Oliver showed John a letter from Lily, explaining why she had hidden the existence of the children from him. She didn't want to disrupt his career and thought it would be better for everyone. But now that she was gone, she wanted John to know the truth. The letter was written in Lily's neat, slightly slanted handwriting, and reading it brought back a flood of memories for John. He remembered her laughter, her warmth, and the way she had made him feel alive. John was in shock. He didn't know how to be a father, but he was determined to do everything possible for his sons. He started spending more time with them, learning their interests and helping them adapt to their new life. Jake loved sports, especially baseball, and was always eager to try new things. Oliver preferred quieter pursuits, often losing himself in his drawings or a good book. John found himself enjoying the simple pleasures of parenthood, like making breakfast together and exploring the city through his son's eyes. But not everything was as smooth as it seemed. John had another son, Michael, who had lived with him all this time. Michael was 15 years old, with his father's sharp features and a confident demeanor that belied his inner turmoil. He was used to being the center of his father's attention and had always enjoyed the privileges that came with being John Davis's son. Michael was intelligent and charismatic, with a quick wit and a knack for getting what he wanted. But the appearance of Jake and Oliver threatened his position in the family, and he struggled to accept the changes. Michael began to notice how his father was spending more time with the new brothers, and it deeply bothered him. He had always been close to his father, and the sudden shift in dynamics left him feeling jealous and insecure. Michael was used to being the only child in the house, and the idea of sharing his father's attention with two strangers was difficult for him to accept. He saw Jake and Oliver as intruders, threatening a life he had always known. Michael decided he had to do something to regain his father's attention. He was resourceful and cunning, with a keen mind for strategy. He began to observe his father's interactions with the twins, looking for a way to drive a wedge between them. Michael was tech-savvy and had a knack for hacking, a skill he had developed in secret over the years. He saw an opportunity to use his skills to his advantage and devised a plan to forge the results of a DNA test. Michael hacked into the lab's database and altered the results to show that Jake and Oliver were not John's biological children. He was sure this would make his father reconsider his relationship with them and return his attention to him. Michael believed that his actions were justified, that he was merely protecting what was rightfully his. He didn't consider the consequences of his actions or the pain it would cause his new brothers. When John saw the test results, he was stunned. He couldn't believe that Lily could have deceived him like this. John began to doubt his feelings and decisions. He grew colder towards Jake and Oliver, which greatly upset them. The boys had finally started to feel like they belonged, like they had a place in the world, and the sudden shift in John's demeanor left them confused and hurt. They had already lost their mother, and the thought of losing their father as well was more than they could bear. But the truth has a way of coming to light. One day, while talking to a friend who was a genetics specialist, John mentioned the strange test results. The friend suggested conducting a repeat test in a different lab to confirm their accuracy. John agreed, and the results of the new test showed that Jake and Oliver were indeed his biological children. John was furious when he learned that Michael had forged the results. He realized that his son had done this out of jealousy and fear of losing his attention. John decided it was time to set things right in his family. He gathered all his children and explained what had happened. He told them that he loved them all equally and that no one should feel deprived of his attention. John also explained to Michael that his actions were wrong and that he needed to apologize to his brothers. Michael, realizing his mistake, apologized to Jake and Oliver and promised never to act like that again. He understood that his actions had caused pain and division in his family, and he was determined to make amends. Michael began to see Jake and Oliver not as threats, but as brothers, and he slowly started to build a relationship with them. Since then, life in the Davis family has changed. John learned to appreciate every moment spent with his children and understood that true wealth is not money, but the people around you. He realized that family is not just about blood ties, but about the relationships we build every day. Jake and Oliver found a sense of belonging and security they had never known before, and Michael learned the value of acceptance and forgiveness. And so, over time, John came to understand that his life had changed forever. He found meaning in his children that he had been missing. He understood that true wealth is not money, but the people who are waiting for you to be there. This story teaches us that family is not just about blood ties, but about the relationships we build every day. It's a story about the importance of being open to change and willing to learn to become better. And that is the true wealth of life.